The rule of 70 is a shortcut method that estimates how long it takes an economy to double in size, assuming an economy is growing at an average growth rate over time. So the formula for the rule of 70 is T equals 70 divided by G, where T is the time that it takes for an economy to double, and G is the average percent of growth rate expected into the future. So let's take a couple of examples. Let's say a country has an average growth rate of 2% per year. So their GDP per capita is growing 2% per year. If we plug that 2% into our formula, then we end up with 35. And 35 years is the average amount of time it would take for an economy to double. So for example, let's take another example that a country has a growth rate of 10%. 70 divided by 10% equals 7 years. That means an economy will double its economy, the size of its economy, every 7 years into the future. So suppose two countries, Italy and Argentina, have the exact same GDP per capita in 1950. Imagine that each of them has a GDP per capita equal to $5,000 per year. But let's assume that Italy is growing at a rate of 3% per year, and Argentina is growing at a rate of 2% per year. So that means Italy, according to the rule of 70, 70 divided by 3 is equal to 23 years, and 70 divided by 2 is equal to 35 years. So if in 1950 Italy has a GDP equal to 5,000, in 23 years their economy will double. So in 1973, their economy will equal $10,000 GDP per capita. In 1996, another 23 years, their GDP per capita will be $20,000. By 2019, another 23 years, their economy will double again to $40,000 GDP per capita. Now, keep in mind, this is assuming that their economy actually does grow at a rate of 3 percentage points. But let's take a look and see how that impacts Argentina. So Argentina in 1950, of course, has a GDP per capita equal to $5,000 per year. Now, their economy by 1985 will double to $10,000 per year. In another 35 years, by 2020, their economy will double it to $20,000. Now, take a look at where these countries stand. By roughly the same period of time, Italy has a GDP per capita that's double the size of Argentina's. So just a 1% difference in average growth has a very meaningful compounding impact over time. In this case, Italy's economy is 2 times greater than Argentina's based on just a 1% difference in GDP per capita growth rate per year.